YouTube, welcome to the top 16 of the Meta Weekly with the new ban list and new pack. What is the new ban list doing? Well, first off, we have the new pack at the bottom, an Azamina deck type. This is not White Forest. It focuses on Diablo Star Vengeance and the Diabelle's White Forest. And on the top, we have Maliss, which everyone said Maliss is dead. Despite that, there's still quite a few in the top 16. The Red Ransom is nowhere to be seen. Not in the extra deck, it is fully banned. I tried to tell many of you in my ban list video that the deck still has the same consistency, the same end board, but it is weaker to hand traps, and that is definitely a big downfall of the deck, but apparently the deck is still great enough to be clapping it up. Ain't no way. Now, let's hop into game number 1. Hopefully the new deck can win. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Reasoning is a card like grass that you want to hold on to. You do not want to waste it. You want to throw out all your other nonsense first. You want to throw out the baits. Once they take the bait, then you whip out the real meat. We're going to be searching for the Philia Diabelle. That was ashable, didn't ash. Philia Diabelle, searchable, did not ash that again. Now we're going to reasoning, thinking it's safe. He is not ashing. He's gonna fool us instead. That is wild. This could mill almost the entire deck until we have a card that is summonable. How did we allow this to resolve? And we declared level 4. That was the worst reasoning I've ever seen. No way. The deck probably plays one Diablo Star, and it was pretty much at the top of the freaking deck. We still get the effect of on summon. It's gonna set a card from the deck, which is not ashable. We have the Sinful Spoil Silvera, which is an Omni Negate. We're going to special summon our Diabelle's White Witch. This is going to be sending the Diablo Star Vengeance from the deck to the graveyard, which we are now negating. So the two main ways to get to the Diablo Star Vengeance is triggering the Curse of Diabelle to search for the Philia Diabelle, which then searches for the Diablo Star Vengeance or the White Witch, and then White Witch could send the Diablo Star Vengeance from the deck to the grave. So you can either search it or send it. Now, with this Omni Negate, what else is this? If your opponent controls 3 or more monsters and you control level 5 or higher illusion, we do, you are going to be able to return up to 3 cards the opponent controls back to the hand. Double disruption. White Rabbit. We are not going to Silvera Negate. Target a face-up card in the field and negate it. Do we negate the... Bro, what are we saving this for? What? Okay. Silvera is now going to be negated by Lingaribo. I guess we're going to be able to use Awakening. He's going to get 3 bodies on the field. Now, Lingaribo can negate the Awakening or negate the Silvera. Both of them are activatable here. Do we first Silvera the Lingaribo, then return them back? How do we play this out? Link Decoder, as we now go into the White Binder. Is this what we wanted to negate with our Silvera mate? But the big question is, if you negate this, you think you're negating the other effect of setting a trap from the deck or graveyard, but if they have a way to banish it and it comes back, they could then still activate the effect to set. So you may be wanting to wait for that specific activation and not try to negate it early. The Curse of Diabelle is going to trigger when banished. When banished, add a Diabelle spell from your deck to your hand. But I guess we had none to add. Now we're going to return 3 before the White Binder even activates the effect to set. That was a big play. He was not able to keep the Lingaribo on field and still continue up, as we now have the Silvera follow-up to negate the Gold Sarcophagus. Well, we already used up our normal summon, so we couldn't even normal a Ghost spell turning into an Almirage to special summon the Wizard. We obviously can't normal summon the Dormouse. The Wizard requires an extra deck monster to even activate. It took 2 hand traps, but we did it. Ghost Bell is going to negate the Diablo Star, attempted to reborn itself back onto the field. Boy, held on, and it worked. There was that big fear of that Lingaribo, but the Mitsurugi used up the Lingaribo, thus was not able to negate one of the back row cards. We had to the best of our ability, keep Lingaribo on the field. We have Deception Sinful, which is going to be searching for the Hallowed Azamina. Hallowed Azamina is going to be summoning the Ryzeal Go. Let's go into our deck, the Wanted Seeker. We're going to Hallowed Azamina, return back the Ryzeal Go, as we're now going to activate Hallowed. Make sure to chain the Wanted Seeker to it. Add Diablo Star, send it, as we now go into the Saint Azamina. Saint Azamina is gonna be able to stop something like Wizard from targeting a card in graveyard. Your own Wizard would not be able to reborn. Also, your Splash Mage would not be able to reborn. Can't Splash Mage, can't Wizard. Lethal damage. Let's hop into game 2. Very well done. Moy won game 1. Yes, okay. This is what we're talking about. Normal summon a hand trap, go into an Almirage. And pass. So we do have return a card back. We could also have a double non-target banish. So that's triple disruption. We could impulse, negate a special summon. We could also use the white binder to banish cards from the opponent's graveyard, which against Azamina, that should be quite beneficial. We have Droll and Lockbird, we have Ghost Spell, and we have Max C. That's 7 disruption plus Max C. The problem is, evenly matched? You're not supposed to have that. What the heck? That's gonna screw everything up. What do we do? First, we're gonna chain Max C to the evenly. Okay. And we're gonna keep the GW. So we lost the Firewall, we lost the Impulse. We should still have 5 disruptions though. Not too bad. We're gonna send the Silvera to summon the White Witch, and you're under the effect of Max C, boy. We're now going to GW, chain the Azamina Debtors. Debtors is going to go into the Azamina Fusion. We're gonna go into the Saint Azamina. Oh my gosh. This will prevent the opponent from targeting cards in their own graveyard. What does White Binder do? White Binder targets cards in the graveyard. White Binder targets White Rabbit, targets Cryptor. Cryptor then non-target banishes. White Rabbit then sets up a card to non-target banish. This is possibly stopping 2 non-target banishes. Do not summon White Binder. He summoned White Binder. This GWC doesn't target, by the way. It's on resolution, so we would be able to change our mind once the Azamina hits the field. Well, we could still target the opponent's graveyard, but not our own. What the hail? Who even knew that Saint Azamina do that? We're gonna set the Sinful Spoil Awakening, and the other cards get banished. No MTP non-target banish. No Crypt or non-target. We need to calm down here. Does this mean that Maliss is not good? Okay, we needed it evenly matched, and then a Saint Azamina where we clearly didn't even know what that card freaking did to stop us? What the hell? Moa Regina is going to reborn back the Saint Azamina. Now, Saint Azamina is still going to be negatively afflicting Maliss. They can't target engrave to reborn with. They can't even access code talker, right? I guess they can. Yeah, you can't target a link monster that was used, so you can't boost up with access code talker. That's kind of awkward. You can't reborn with the transcode talker. You can't reborn with the splash mage. Like, there's so many random effects. We can't reborn with the wizard. Wizard can't reborn. We freaking set Droll and passed. What the heck? Oh no. And we have 7,000 damage, not enough for lethal. Okay. Saint Azamina is going to be reflecting any battle damage that you would take, but not just from the Saint Azamina, it could be any. And the Azamina effect applied. All monsters they control would lose 500 when it resolves, sure. Let's Azamina. So the goal with the Azamina is to reduce their attack to 0. After every activation, they lose 500. And once they get reduced to 0 attack, your opponent cannot activate monsters with 0 attack. That's the goal. Reduce. Remember what I said? This can't boost. It can't target. It just got summoned. Now, this looks like a misplay. The Morion, people frequently try to use Morion on an opponent's monster. It's either not flip downable or it was not special summoned, then they end up accidentally flipping their own monster down. That's not the case here. The Morion enables the Regina if Mitsurugi does not know to chain link block the Morion, or I should say the Regina. So what you were supposed to do is when they activate Morion, instead of going, haha, you're flipping your own monster face down, you chain a Bestial. If you chain the Bestial, then the Regina cannot change the Morion to pop 2 cards in the field. So that's another issue that, you know, we got to know. We have to know how the St. Azamina works. We have to know that Regina needs to be chain link blocked, similar to like a Lady Labyrinth where you know to chain link block that. Azamina continually, woo! Damn. St. Azamina. No targeting in your own graveyard with your white binder. That won the freaking duel, in addition to the evenly matched. Very well done. We're going to start this off with a main phase prayers, which could get hit by a draw. So you do really want to think, if I'm actually going to activate the prayers, that you just do it in the draw phase or in response to a draw. If you initiate against a draw, then you get clapped up. How is this okay? It's turn 1 and we had 8 cards in our hand? What the heck? You had to discard 2 cards in the end phase. What the hell was that? Now, our disruptions here are going to be Masquerina into a Little Knight double banish. You could have some crazy play if you use the Druid Storm, which could also send another monster to the graveyard, but since it will be used at the same time of summoning into a disruption, it's pretty much just an extra Little Knight, as we could send and banish. We could banish from the graveyard up to 3 times, and I guess against Branded, we should count all 3 of those as additional disruptions, even though they're generally lower impact, so we'll put that to 5 disruption. We have Ash negate an interaction with the deck. We have the Murakumo Rebornable from a grave, which could wipe away the opposing field and force them to discard. And then we also have the Baldrake, which could banish a monster summoned from the extra deck. That's 9 disruption plus max frequency. Abelmod, just surrender. Right? 9 disrupt. We're going to start off with the Fallen Albaz. Fallen of Albaz, discard to fuse with the opposing fields. Now we're going to go into a Masquerina. We're going to chain Serenir, banish the Bestial Lubellion here. Now, the Little Knight is not going to even activate. If we fuse with the Little Knight, that's no banish. And that's at least 2 disruptions of the 9. We used up the Serenir, that's one of the... Whoa! Let's freaking go into Goddess! Oh my Jesus! The Albaz disappeared and it's fusing with nothing now. Nothing to fuse with. Very well done. That was smart. Lust, I loved that. Well, the prayers has the option on resolution. You don't choose on activation to reborn a monster. I don't know what you're doing, so I'm just going to negate. Now we're going to be searching for the Habakiri. Habakiri is going to summon from the deck into the Saji. Saji will get negated by the Ash, possibly, or get Chainlink blocked by Regain. Now you'd have to pass on Regain, then Ash it. I guess we wanted to not Ash it, unless we accidentally regained. And it can be quite confusing because the prompt's going to come up. It's not going to say, do you want to Ash or Regain? It's just going to say, do you want to Regain? You say no, then it will pop up if you want to Ash. This could be a bit scary if you're not going to understand that. Ritual to summon from the hand. This is not Ashable. As the Murakumo is going to be searching our deck. Baldrake is going to be banishing the Murakumo, which it was not trying to reborn. It was just searching, and we're not stopping the search. That's fine. Grab a prayers. And to battle we go, as we're going to use our own prayers to reborn our Murakumo to wipe away the Habakiri. Wipe it. We're going to chain Purification to reborn, then tribute the Habakiri, which would then activate on a separate chain link to reborn back. We're going to do that anyway. Prayers tribute off since you tried to stop me. Now we could discard, or we don't have to discard because we mostly just wanted to tribute off the Habakiri to dodge the field wipe and get the effect to search our deck. We're going to add the Futsu. We did discard a card. You do banish away the Aramasa. And let's now trigger on a separate chain. Habakiri searching for the mirror and reborn back all within the battle phase. The Goddess already negated prayers, otherwise this would have been negatable. Baldrake on the summon of a Ritual, not just an extra deck monster. Rituals included. Murakumo comes back. And then for main phase 2, let's fusion deployment. Ash negate the fusion deployment, then Abelmod activates branded fusion for gain. No branded fusion. What the hell? He scoops. It was close. He's got, what, 10 different ways to get to that branded fusion, and unfortunately was not able to get to it. Fusion, deployment, reveal Grand Granola to get out of Cartesia. Cartesia's goal here is to play around Valor or Impermanence. No one's really playing Valor, so Imperm's the main card to play around. It's going to protect our Alibur, it's going to protect our fusions. So we hold on to it. We're now unimpermable. Alibur safely grabbing Branded Fusion. Branded Fusion, Ash should be the card to stop it, and then you can't imperm the Albion because the Cartesia will chain fuse around it. We are going to Druid Swarm, banish the Albaz, which we do have the Mercurier to stop. Scooping to that just like that. He knows where this is going to. Let's hop into game 3. Begin. Was the Murakumo already tributed? I guess it was already, so everything was already tributed. That's okay, we're gonna play right through it by using the mirror, but the Serenir here is gonna banish the Murakumo. So the question is, why did we not activate the effect of forcing them to discard? If they wanted to, they could have discarded Nibiru, then there wouldn't be a token, and if there's no token, then they can't Bestial Serenir, banish away the Murakumo when you activate the mirror here. Why not? Why not? Why not? Utsu is going to be reborn back. Habakiri trigger, and we need the Kusanagi to add back the Murakumo. As now going to the Dynamundo. Dynamundo on summon is going to get that Serenir out of here, set, pass, and what is this going to do? Well, the Dynamundo, whenever we want, is going to target a properly summoned ritual in the graveyard to then reborn it back. That properly summoned monster would be the Futsu. And that's it. The Futsu would be the card to come back. And with Futsu hitting the field, we then can activate the Purification. Purification will be our Omni Negate, so this finger's still up for that. We could Baldrake banish in the graveyard, we could Baldrake banish a monster summon for the extra deck. About triple form of disruption is what we have. Not that great. Dynamundo in response to the prayers, we're going to be reborning that Futsu. Now, Futsu is going to be incredibly annoying. So we would probably really want to super poly it away before it gets out of hand here. In fact, stopping the Purification from being activatable would be ideal. Tribute off Nibiru, Aramasa is going to be activating. We're to trigger the Futsu, which could be fueling the super poly. Reborn back Kusanagi. Kusanagi, add back the Murakumo. Trigger on summon. Add it back indeed. Come to me. And now we're going to use the ritual. Purification. Purification is going to negate. We didn't super poly, mate. Now, if we super polyed, he could just use prayers to reborn it back. So what we have left is the Baldrake. Utsu coming back. Per special summon that we do, the Futsu is going to reborn a monster from the grave. Kusanagi is going to add back the ritual. Ritual it up. Now, a good way to stop the Futsu is Murakumo or Mirror Jade in the end phase, non-target, wipe away the entire field. They cannot protect themselves from that. Murakumo is going to be attempting to reborn back as we don't... it does not reborn. It was not properly summoned, so we don't Baldrake it, correct, here. Searching for a mirror. Now we Baldrake, right? He wants to summon the Murakumo, let's banish it. Well done. That was the moment. And the mirror is now going to whiff it. You have to trust that they don't have something summonable from the hand. Discarding the Branded Fusion to fuse with their field into the Predaplant Triff. As we now go into the Anaconda. Anaconda's going to send a Branded Fusion from the deck to the grave to come forth and go into our Mirror Jade. We can't special summon beyond this, so you go straight into the Mirror Jade. We have 8,400 damage on the field, but I believe the prayers is public knowledge. So we didn't want to banish when we know he would activate prayers. What do we have here? If they attempt to special summon, we can negate the summon. Now, can that stop a Murakumo in any way whatsoever? No, there's no way this will stop the Murakumo. This, I don't think he plays any main deck monster that this can actually stop. But it could stop anything from the extra deck. And then we have Mirror Jade for the non-target banish. Double disruption. If we had another card in hand, we also could have used Albaz to reborn back with the Rinbrum being sent to fuse with their opposing fields. And the Murakumo can negate Mirror Jade's non-target banish because it's going to force him to discard and he has nothing to discard. Activate to wipe the field. Habakiri is going to be searching the deck. We're going to send the Rinbrum. We're not going to force him to discard. We're just going to jump off the field. And now Mirror Jade has to banish one of your own cards if we don't summon. He did banish away his Triff, as his field's getting wiped away anyway. Wipe the field. Mirror Jade will now trigger to wipe away the opposing field during the end phase. They're going to have no protection from this. The other ritual, I should say the other reptiles cannot tribute themselves to instead be destroyed if they're going to be destroyed at the same time. But with only 6,000 life on the field, we could block an attack, or you would think so. Because the Murakumo did not force him to discard yet, when he activates Rinbrum to block the lethal attack, you simply negate that and it's over. I think so. Yes. There's nothing to stop that. 7,200 attempts to do so. This is it. Murakumo held on to the effect. He didn't take the bait on the Mirror Jade mate. He instead dodged the banishment. Very well done. Smartly played. Thank you to both of you. Abelmod is top tier, and thank you, Lust. Let's hop into another one. Normal Fua to go into the Almirage. Knowing that they're going to go into Almirage, we're going to activate our own Fua. We're going to call by the grave, finger the Fua. Not today. Now, will Ash be enough to stop their plays? Maliss should be more susceptible to hand traps now. As we go into Almirage, special summon the backup, activate to search. Ash, negate. You have just cut me off from access to a Maliss name. There's no way to get into a Maliss name. As now Splash Mage. Heat Soul could draw a card. I don't know if we're playing that. Maybe we Heat Soul. Let's go into Link Decoder. Let's link this up into a Transcode Talker. Trigger the effect of Link Decoder to Reborn back. Let's couldn't we Terahertz send Dormouse and then banish it with the Bestial? Right? Hakimo, are you playing Terahertz? He's not. What the heck? That would be the freaking play. Let me double check to show you all that. So Terahertz would be summonable here. I guess you got to play Terahertz now to extra play through Disruption. 3 Cybers monsters, Link 5, we have that. We have 3 and a 1 and a 1. And then send a Dormouse from your deck to the graveyard and then banish it with your Druid Swarm. But we're actually locked, right? We're locked because of the Transcode Talker. Let's see this. Yep, Transcode Talker locked us out. Now it looks like we're locked up by Splash Mage. The Splash Mage restriction is the... You cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except Cybers. That's also the... Yeah, Splash Mage and Transcode mess you up. Now, Transcode is different than Splash Mage. Splash Mage is for the rest of the turn, so you could summon your Bestials before, then you could Splash Mage, but not with Transcode Talker. This has a bigger confliction. You cannot special summon the turn, not the rest of the turn, the turn. You Bestial before, then you summon a Transcode Talker, and then you're going to wonder why it's not activatable. Let's go to Allied Code Talker Ignister instead. As we Reborn back, Untargetable and Omni Negate. We got a Negate and a Negate a special summon and a Banish from the Grave. Triple Disruption with no Malice. We have Fiendsmith up in here. Normal to Symbol Skeleton. Go into the Galatea Link 1. Link 1's going to discard the Orcust Nightmare. The Allied Code Talker is not just negating. We are also going to be banishing. And there's a nice little nuance to this play. Why are we using the Bestial right now? Why are we not waiting for them to get the Harp Horror engraved? Well, we can't banish Harp Horror with the Druid Swarm because they're going to have no monsters on the field. So before we clear off their monster, we're going to use the Druid Swarm right here, right now, as we just have the Impulse left. Well. Couldn't freaking play through it. Ain't no way. And just like that, looks like we win. All right. We completely cut them off from Maliss, but then the Cyberse part of the deck was able to win the duel. With the help of Druid Swarm, of course. Good job. Emma is an OG, yes. Let's grab the Tract. Normally, This is not going to be effective against Fiendsmith, but them adding Tract, it is very effective if they then don't already have a Lurie to just go into the freaking Requiem from there, but we're going to want a Harp Horror instead, possibly. Or just going to call it the Grave. Just finger it. Not today. Nibiru and Imperm are not fingerable. Tract, add the Crimson Tear, get rid of the Lurie here. We're going to Lurie, Reborn back. Let's turn that into the Requiem. Requiem's going to jump off into our Engraver. We're going to Reborn back the other Engraver. We're going to turn these two bodies into a Sequence. Sequence is going to be fusing for nothing as the Imperm negates. One of the main goals of the Sequence is to end on a Wave King Caesar to stop Nibiru. Tract is going to fuse. Lacrima and Sequence into our still a way to go into the Wave King Caesar. So on Resolution, we got to think about this here. They have not used up their normal summon yet. We Nibiru this, we're out of Disruption, and if they have a play, they have a normal summon Gursu or a Harp Horror, we're done. We got to do it. It's unfortunate, but this adds to the power of Orcust Fiendsmith. Being able to force out their hand traps. Now, the Droll didn't count because we fingered it, but this is playing through an Imperm and a freaking Nibiru. This secretly has an effect right now where I guess we would have to try to access code Talker it, where it cannot be destroyed by card effect. TB11 off the top of the deck, we're going to activate the Maliss White Rabbit. In response, we're going to use the Orcust Nightmare to boost up the Enlil Gursu. Enlil Gursu could take control. We could also non-target send a card from the field to the grave. We could also negate anything with the Crescendo. At least 3 solid disruptions here. We're going to use the MTP, not for a banish, just to simply search. The Symbol Skeleton's now going to reborn the Dingursu for the non-target send. You don't know what they're sending until the resolution. Let's see. White Rabbit, trigger the effect. We're going to TB11, and whatever we send is going, whatever we summon that is going to be sent. That will be our Dormouse, which was not banished yet, which the March Hare can simply banish. Let's trigger the Dormouse to come back. This is not a trigger, it's not quick. We could take control of it with the Enlil Gursu. That's what we do. Come to me. And we're not done. Link Decoder, Wizard can activate to reborn from Engrave. Crescendo can negate and banish. Now we're done. We did it. We played through Imperm. We played through Nibiru. We even took control of their Nibiru. Damn. Good job, Orcust. Is Orcust definitely better than Maliss now, or what? What the hell? Y'all were not playing Dimension Shifter, but now you freaking are? Just because you're mad that your Red Ransom got freaking banned, you're gonna be screwing everyone up with this limited to 1 freaking sack? Any card sent to the grave is now banished. Unbelievable. Well, Droll is not even activatable. It must be sent to the graveyard as cost. Not the Fool Loss, though. The Ash also could have negated the Fool Loss. Ash is usable, not Droll, not Veiler, not Ghost Spell, not Ogre. We're going to pass and just cope that this will be enough. We're going to Magnum Hut, banish away the Shifter. We could beat them down with Bystials. There's going to be no other card to banish with our other Bystials, though. Let's Golem. Golem's going to attempt to summon for the back row. We're going to use the Ash Blossom to negate. We have Imperm. We have Nibiru. Double Disrupt. Magnum Hut's going to take out the Chessie. Chessie was banished by the effect of Dimension Shifter. Comes right back onto the field. As we now get to Chessie, go for the draw 2. We can now use Droll Knockbird if we'd like to. March Hare is going to add back. Now the deck should be more susceptible, theoretically, to a Droll Knockbird, due to no longer having Ransom plays to help play through it better. Let's Link Decoder, March Hare, banish the Chessie, Chessie come back, and let's get ready for our White Binder play. White Binder is going to be targeting the Chessie to banish. Also, Link Decoder is going to reborn back. Baldrake is going to banish the Link Decoder. No comeback for you. We could have chained our own Magnum Hut to banish instead to stop their Baldrake from coming out. We chose to not do so. We're going to set TB11. TB11, banishing the White Binder to summon Dormouse. Now, the Dormouse is not activatable. We're going to be reborning back the White Binder. We're going to banish the White Binder. We're going to imperm negate the Baldrake from banishing the White Binder before it already activates all of its effects. I just don't want to lose it. Let's further link this up into an access code talker. Access the codes. Boost. If we banish the White Binder, it ain't coming back, so we don't have lethal damage yet. Taking out the Baldrake. 5,300. We're going to block the attack. Impulse. Negate the Druid Swarm. Dropping him to 700 when we can't summon our own Magnum Hut within the battle phase. What are we doing? GWC is the way. And now we have game. 2-1 victory. Maliss is still a top contender, defeating Orcust. Wow. Lost in the standby. We do want to play around a triple tactics talent. We're going to use the Centruion Primera to search the deck here. Emblema Oath is going to chain around that. Now, I was saying earlier on my hand trap discussion of what to hand trap and not to hand trap, and this is one of those decks. Centruion is a deck where, because you know they don't have any powerful ashable effects, all their effects are essentially just search for one freaking card. That is meaning that you're just going to want to ash them. And then also, if you understand this interaction here, you can't wait for the Auxilla because it's going to be a chain link block. So it is correct to just ash the first thing you pretty much see against them. Block it, search it. You also know that you can't, if the stand-up Centurion was ashable, then this would be the effect you ash, but it's not ashable. And that was it. There's only 2 ashable effects. One of them was chain link blocked, and that's how you would know how to hand trap this deck. You could even argue to maybe not even use ash at all if you want to stop a Full Loss or Max C. Now, not Full Loss, obviously, but Max C. Max C's semi-limited, and who's really holding off on ashing something, holding it for a Max C? We have Senjin, summon from the back row, come forth into a Golem. Droll and Lockbird is here. Now, the Orcust engine plays through Droll. The Fiendsmith engine plays through Droll. We have both in this deck. We don't care about the Droll. We're going to Phoenix on summon, discard the Harp. What happened? Why did you surrender? Who cares that you tried to destroy a card that can't be destroyed and it made you look bad? So what? Who cares? It's not a misplay if you win the duel. I mean, it still is a misplay, but it's not a misplay if you want the card engraved. But there was another card to discard. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it was a misplay. But still, you could have won this. Why did you surrender, man? Okay, let's hop to game 2. Maxi, Ash, Impermanence, Double Disruption. Impermanent Gursu is so freaking good. This is, I would say, right now, the best normal summon in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Nothing is better. Nothing does more than a normal summon Gursu. It plays through multiple hand traps. It's nuts. Ash is going to negate the Max C. And of course, if it goes undisrupted, it's also insane. Let's Moon of the Closed Heaven. Further go into the Requiem. Requiem's going to summon from the deck. Ash is going to negate. Not today, mate. We're going to Galtea Link 1 Reborn back by banishing the Gursu, set Imperm pass. We just have Imperm and Max C. Primera is going to be activating to search the deck. Imperm is going to negate. Ulas is dead, and the Phalanx will just simply banish a monster until the next standby phase. But it's time for Plan L. Typhon is going to return himself back so we can make the Full Loss be activatable. Right? No, that would be ridiculous. Let's get rid of the Galtea, smack him for 29, set the Phalanx, and now it's you. Can we do anything? No, we don't have an Engraver, the symbol can't reborn anything. Wow, that is unfortunate, and off the top of the deck, we got our 1.5 card combo, I guess. Yep, discard, and let's set this up. Primera attempting to summon. Do we take the Maxi challenge? We only need 600 more damage and we got it. That's it. Well done. Lethal damage. All right. It was either a 2-0 or 2-1. I don't know if game 1 disappeared or what. Let's keep on going. Dimension Shifter right away. Maxi's not activatable on after the resolution of Shifter, so we got to use it right here, right now. We're going to chain Emergency Teleport to lessen the impact of Maxi. Special Summon before it resolves. Normal the Can of Hawk, banish from the deck. We are still going to Special Summon under Maxi. We do not care. Search our deck for Steeds, then pass. Right? No, first I got to make a Nochi. Okay. Now, Nochi's going to make the Steeds pop at least one more card. If you control a Ritual Beast monster, destroy non-targeting monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beasts you control. Only monster. So pop up to 2. And with the ice into the sword. That's a pop 2 if we want. They'll both get banished. And if we read the Ryzeal, special summon by sending an Xyz from your action next to the graveyard. Can we do that? No. We would have to normal summon Ryzeal, which we can't. So this is a perfect pop. Pop it, can't summon. Now, what about the Doodoo Warrior? You could send a Doodoo from your deck to the graveyard as cost. Not even activatable, not summonable. We got clapped up. What are we gonna do through that? We're gonna end our freaking turn because D-Shifter completely floodgated us. Wow. We even discarded in the end phase. Ulas and Pirellia will be our cope. Are we going to survive this? There's no way. Hipster does not go for game. Come on. Can of Hawk, banishing the Laura summon from the deck. The Rapangu send from the extra deck. We're going to go into the Apelio Baboost up the field. That's enough on the resolution. No more further summoning. Game. Ash, Nibiru, and a Thualos. Do we have what it takes to correctly finger? What are we fingering? We're going to send the Eclipse Twins, not an aggregator, as the Ryzeal is going to get negated, and we're not going to finger it. We have identified we could play through it, so we're going to hold on to our finger. Do we finger the Thualos? Yes, we do, instead of you. If you're playing regular White Forest and you have a finger, think about not fingering their Thualos because you can make great plays even under Fua with the Diabels and Diablo Star Vengeance. Duo Drive is going to be searching for an ice and sword. We have not committed to our normal summon yet. We're going to normal summon from the deck a Star Ryzeal. On the flip, or right now is when we want to Nibiru. We are going to just do it now. Chain the Maxi. Don't mind if I do. I'm going to draw 2. Pot of freaking Greed. Come to me. Let's get 1 and 2. Now, I'll flip up you. Cross. Let's return 2 cards back to draw a 3rd card. Got the Ash now. Special the sword, searching for the Ice Ryzeal. Ice Kid summon itself by sending the Droll. As we now go into a Ryzeal Detonator. Detonator on someone's going to attach the Eclipse Twins. Now to you. What are our disruptions? Whenever you see the Eclipse Twins and there's another rank 4 Xyz in the graveyard, it's an additional disruption. So this Detonator is essentially pop 4. And one of them could be a cross negate, which would still be 4 disruption. And we have Ash, 5 disruption. If you don't understand why it's an additional +1, it's because you could detach to pop ourselves to then reborn back to then attach 2 cards. As the Eclipse gives 1, then the Detonator gives a second 1, and it was off of just detaching 1. Make sense? Teleport, Ash, negate. Not today, mates. If you're unsure on your disruption, as we were talking about hand trap usage, trying to summon from the deck is generally a good disruption. We're going to use the Ryzeal Detonator, wipe away the Nibiru, now down to 3 disruption. That's enough to scoop it. 1 and 1. No D-Shifter, I should say. We have no hand traps whatsoever. Protos, what are you calling? We don't want to kill our ulti Gaia Pelio. We could use the lore to protect it, though. If a ritual beast would be destroyed by battle or card effect, it's exactly what I said. We're going to protect it by banishing the Laura. No light monster special summon. We got 2 Earths that can special summon. And in addition to that, we have an Omni Negate. We have the pop multiple cards on the field that are monsters only. We can also banish a card in the field without triple disruption plus the lingering floodgate of no light monsters allowed. So just count the 3 leftover disruption. Sword Ryzeal is still special summonable. Anamana Pickup was banishable if we wanted to. We could have used this to stop it from searching. Onomatopoeia is going to discard, search. Banishing a monster is probably going to be better, so we're just going to hold on to that. We are now going to be special summoning the Doodoo Warrior. Let's get rid of it right now. Be gone as we try to banish the Cannonhawk. Cannonhawk's going to jump off the field before getting banished. Since it doesn't say banish both cards, it says banish them. Them, at least one, banish it. Goblin Bedurg's going to reborn back the Kage, and we're going to non-target pop 2. Damn. That was enough to do it. Freaking believable. Now, the Sword Ryzeal, it's not going to be so good. It's going to have to be normal summoned. We need another Ryzeal in the graveyard or a Ryzeal special summoned. Obviously, the X Ryzeal would be the ideal to special summon, then go with the Ryzeal Sword, but we couldn't even special summon Light if that were to even be a play. Damn, and the Goblin Bedurg took up our normal summon. We're going to fire off the Circular as our first play, sending Sigma. We're going to chain Full Loss, even though it's not going to result in a draw for the summon of Circular, nor the Sigma itself. But we're baiting out an Ash or a Called By, so it is the correct play to do. We then activate the Max Seed to ensure that we're going to draw. What is our minimal play? We are still going to commit. They're just going to draw for the Max C. Fua's not going to get a draw here as we Dormouse. Dormouse. Banish to add the March here. Are we going to pass now? We got Nibiru. That's all we got. 1 Nibiru. We're going to normal the Circular. Trigger Search for Equation. Underground's going to banish from the deck Chessie. We're at least going for a draw 2. Give them another draw. Maybe draw into more hand traps. We did not draw into any disruption. We go into Cryptor. We have Cryptor and Nibiru. And that Cryptor summon was expensive. It gave them a double freaking draw. They're going to have 9 cards in their hand versus our double disruption. We're going to have to perfectly time our Nibiru and Cryptor to survive this. Can we do it? Kawaki is a Meta Weekly champion with this deck. Let's go. Onomatopoeia. Discard the Kage. We're going to be searching for 2. This would obviously be a good Ash effect. They're searching for 2 freaking cards, and they're having a discard even activate it. Let's go into Musketeer, which will force out the Cryptor. Cryptor, banish away the Musketeer. They already committed to their normal summon. Triple Tactics Talent's going to look at the hand and say goodbye to Nibiru. If we now can make any play, it is done from here. With no normal summon, oh, yeah, we're done. If there's an Xyz on the field or engraved, the node will be special summonable. If there's an Xyz on field with the material, we could detach to summon the Star Ryzeal. We definitely had this. We know this will turn into a Duo Drive. Duo Drive will search for X Ryzeal, Star Ryzeal, all that nonsense, or Sword Ryzeal, that is. Let's hop into game 2. Now we have Circular. If this can at least eat up a hand trap, then it did its job. Circular trigger, searching our deck for the Equation. Normal the White Rabbit. So it did not force out an Ash or a Nibiru yet, as we're now going to further link this up into White Binder. We have Link Decoder trigger into Reborn, so we have the option of, do we want to Nibiru this before it activates to set a trap, but if they have another way to Reborn it back or banish it, then it comes back, then it's not going to be so good. So we're not doing that. We're just going to wait. There's too many opportunities to play through that Nibiru. Cyberse Wicked, we're going to use the Equation to Reborn, trigger the Wicked. Even if we Nibiru, it's still going to get the search. White Binder is also going to draw. We're going to add a March Hare on top of this. It's going to be difficult to not want to Nibiru this because there is going to be a lot of bodies on the field. Almost a full field. 5 monsters? I mean, like, let's do it. Let's wipe up this freaking field. Wipe it. Now, the fear is, are you playing a Link Spider? You should be. Otherwise, the backup Ignister cannot be summoned. they gotta be playing it. If you're not playing it, you're playing incorrectly. Link Spider, of course, special summon the backup Ignister. We have Ash negating the backup. Backup could be searching for the Wizard to then further Reborn, or if we wanted to search a Dormouse discard, then Reborn back with Splash Mage. Splash Mage, even playing through the Ash. We have played through Ash, we played through Nibiru. Is this good enough though? We're gonna be drawing a card, Magnum Hut set. What are our disruptions? We still have some disruptions here. We have the ability to banish from their graveyard with the White Binder. We could non-target banish with the MTP. We could banish with the Magnum Hut. Two of those disruptions are quite weak. We have Droll and Lockbird, which is a bit better. We also have Impermanence, negate a monster on the field. And Heat Soul can maybe draw into another disruption. So 3 good disruptions, 2 banishes from the graveyard. What's good? No Hand Trap. Duel Warrior, send the Go-Go Glove. This is where we would maybe want to banish the glove before it summons out. We don't. Okay. And I'm not talking about Bestial. Oh Lord. That's a Zeus. Main phase 1 Zeus. Non-target, wipe out the entire field. We do have Impermanence though. It's okay. Negate. So, you know, Imperm's not a part of our core combo that it was searched for. We randomly have the card to stop him from destroying everything. Well done. Duel Warrior. So we're gonna, on the higher chain link, want to GWC to ensure the MTP banishes, but the Ash is going to negate. We don't have Ignister to negate. We don't have Apollo to negate. Those are 2 cards that usually ensure that the MTP goes through. We're gonna Droll and Lockbird on the Resolution before they even make the Duo Drive. Ryzeal can't search, Duo Drive can't make a play. We're gonna go into the Eclipse Twins. Now you can't make a detonator unless you have 2 Ryzeals. That's not even at least one of them being Ryzeal. Eclipse Twins is gonna have the double attack onto monsters only. We are gonna GWC on the attack of the Nibiru. Gain 23, trigger White Binder, banish from either player's grave. We're gonna add back the March Hare with the White Rabbit reborning back onto the field here. White Rabbit, I believe, ensures we take no battle damage. We're gonna just take out the White Rabbit. As we now main phase 2 it up. Musketeer is gonna return the White Binder back instead of attacking over it. March Hare at the end of main phase 2, banishing the MTP, just getting out its hard once per turn effect. Now, from here, we're gonna Magnum Hut, banish our own White Rabbit. We're gonna chain Maxi off the top of the deck. We have our limited 1 finger to finger the sea. Not today. This is a good rivalry. We have Ryzeal versus Maliss. Maliss, I would argue, is much more heavily nerfed, but possibly still better. Triggering the White Rabbit, Magnum Hut searching within the end phase. Come back onto the field, TB11, summon from the deck Dormouse, which is not activatable until we banish it and it comes back. We're gonna go into the White Binder to banish our Dormouse. As the March Hare is gonna add back, we made sure to March Hare effect during the opponent's turn, so we will be able to use it again here. Add back, and then Reborn. An access code talker is gonna help clean up this field. Now we want to ensure that we play around the Eclipse Twins perfectly. If we take out the Musketeer, then Eclipse Twins, it's gonna reborn a monster. What we do not want is for Eclipse Twins to randomly reborn back the Exciton Knight to then wipe away our field during the battle phase. That'd be a huge mistake. Now, within the battle phase, we have the effect of the opponent's effects within the battle phase are negated. All their monster effects, no matter what they do. So simply enter the battle phase and then activate whatever we want. Cryptor, non-target banish the Nibiru. Even though we have the incorrect attack order here, it doesn't matter. Eclipse Twins cannot trigger. Well done. This is where it would bring back out the Exciton if it weren't for the Terahertz negating it. 1-1. Looking pretty good, and not everyone is on Terahertz, but we are playing Circular. So maybe Circular is the main reason why we're on the Terahertz. And as I was talking earlier, if we do not Splash Mage, if we don't transcode Talker to make the Terahertz, we could send a Dormouse. And then if we have a way to banish the Dormouse with a Bestial that would be turned off by a Splash Mage or a transcode Talker, then you're gonna go into your Mouse plays from there. We're going second with 4 freaking hand traps. We have Max freaking C. In addition to that, Droll, Bell, Baldrake. The Droll does conflict with the Max C, but we still might want to Droll. We don't Droll him. And he's gonna keep on special summoning under the effect of Max C. He does not care. 2 more he's gonna be searching for 3 cards, which the Droll could have prevented if we wanted to. Now we're gonna Droll. We could use the cross to negate, but if we do, then we lose a material off of the Duo Drive. We'd have to summon another rank 4 Xyz, which we could easily do. We're gonna go into a Tornado Dragon set in pass. Do we even count this as a disruption? Pop a back row card? That's not gonna really be disruptive. We don't even have a way to search for our Maliss field spell anymore for this to even disrupt. So what we're left with is Impermanence and a monster negate. Double disruption, that is it. The Circular itself is going to do a lot here. We don't even have to make a single Maliss play. Could tank up at least 1 disruption. We're going to grab the Equation. These 2 fingers are for their 2 monster effects. We have Cyburst, Wicked, Equation, Reborn back. This is how you would use the Wicked to banish the search for the backup Ignister to bridge your way into Maliss. So if you don't have Maliss, this is the way. We used up one of our negates. We're going to Gold Sark. Further banish from the deck. The fact that Mathmech bridges into Maliss, which is better to do so with the Wicked than the Terahertz play, is a very good reason to consider playing Circular. Link Decoder is here. We have Lingriba pinning down that Impermanence. We thought it was better to use the field spell over the Imperm, but maybe we had to think a little bit more that they do have the option to make a Lingriba to pin down our Impermanence, so it would be better to use that first. Cryptor's gonna non-target banish away the Impermanence that would just be negated. Damn. Maliss, especially with Circular, looks like it has a lot of power here. We're gonna be adding back the Banished March here, and reminder, we are under the new ban list. Ransom is banned. Terahertz is gonna boost. All monster effects in the battle phase of the opponent are negated. Attack more than once per attribute we have. And it's because Circular, this was the only monster that could attack. White Binder, banished from either player's graveyard. So do remember the Circular. I guess if you're playing TCG, you'd want to remember. Let's Firewall Dragon. Firewall is going to be returning at least 1 card from the graveyard back. Let's recycle back our Droll. This is not winnable for Kawaki, obviously. Why did Kawaki lose? Well, it was Maxi or Fua, right? Yeah, Maxi. Maxi prevented us from pushing to make a Protoss to declare Dark, but you know, maybe it was the Droll also kind of messed us up, even though we did have the option to stop it, I guess. Should we have stopped Droll, allow their Maxi to go through, then go into a Protoss play potentially? Oh my nonsense, what the heck are we doing? We also have Code of Soul in this deck, which is good with the Terahertz. Allied Code Talker, Kawaki has walked away, right? Access the codes is back, White Binder, we got the Omni Negate, Unlimited Hand Trap. Oh, all right, I let you make your turn. I didn't even want to draw. Didn't even care to see the top card of his deck. Let him do his full play, not make it seem like he's salty. There you go, are you happy? Now I'm gonna leave. Pure Mitsurugi versus Maliss. This should be a good matchup. You would hope that Pure Mitsurugi, after all the Maliss hits, is the better deck. That would be the ideal. Is it the reality? We have the Ritual, which is negatable with the Impulse. You definitely want to Impulse. Ash is not good against Ritual. Impulse should stop both of its uses. All done. As we're left with just a Nibiru. Our Fool Loss is not even activatable. Chessie is here, banishing to draw 2. Can Maliss, if played correctly, play around Nibiru? If we're not able to set up a negate for Nibiru, we want to put them in a position where we can at least have follow-up after we get Nibiru. Now, we can set up a negate, so we want to get to the point where we could summon an Allied Code Talker Ignister, not activates effect, and ideally on summon, it's already pointing to a link so that it can negate the Nibiru. And that's the moment we're going to have to identify that we have to Nibiru. And then ideally, while we set that up, we also have something in our back pocket to whip out after the Nibiru, which could be a wizard. If you have that wizard for the backup, we could show that we have lethal damage. Since we're going second, it's not turn 1, So that play, instead of setting up a negate, is setting up lethal damage. So we want lethal plus follow-up, and then we play through Nibiru. And now we're under Fua loss. So the pressure is even higher. 8,200. We have to Nibiru at the end of main phase 2. And that's exactly what's happening. Attempting to enter the battle phase. Nibiru tribute off the field. We're under Fua. And we go into the Link Spider still. March Hare, banish the Chessie here. A Banishment Reborn or from the hand is not going to be a Fua. Cryptor is game. Through a Fua. He has to draw into a Bestial. Banish. 8,000 damage. Does he draw into a Bestial? Because we're summoning from the deck. We had a GWC. TB is a draw into Bestial. GWC is not. And he draws a cross out instead. Damn. Oh my Jesus. Lethal damage. Looking pretty good still. Doesn't even need to play Math Mech. All right. But carry some for the deck. Who would loss? How much 10 packs for an alt cards on average? I don't know. Someone I think said they spent $2,000 to try to get alt cards and they still didn't get them or something. I don't know. I don't want to be making stuff up. You tell me who's got screwed the most in the chat from trying to get alt art cards. You tell me. I think I've spent about $500 trying to get the branded alt art cards. And I did succeed in getting all of them, but it took about $500. Yeah, I'm sick after saying that. Thank you. TB11 is, I mean, whose turn is it? What the heck's going on? We're now ending our turn with the Murakumo. TB11 in the end phase. Come forth and summon Dormouse. I guess I feel better knowing that there is new branded support coming. The new branded support's pretty cool. I ran out of disk space again. Unbelievable. Max C in the draw phase. We're going to Dormouse banish from the deck. Chessie. As we, Murakumo, force you to discard if you want to resolve that effect. Let's turn all 3 into the Cryptor. Cryptor non-target banishes here. That's lethal. What is going on? What? I mean, you know, GWC, you banish it, it comes back. That's 8,000 damage just from that. No way. No freaking way. That's it. That's game. We're not going to draw on anything that's going to stop it. Surely. Right? Bestial, block the attack. Are we on Bestials? That's it. That's freaking it. That is it. I cannot believe that. Pada E. Banish 6, come to me. Bricked? What the brick? The mirror needs level 8 worth of reptiles to summon the Futsu, and we don't have it. Damn. Impulse. We made sure to set the impulse, and for this reason. So you'd be like, why are we setting impulse? Well, if we know, how do we know? If we know we're playing against a deck that could initiate the activation of a special summon without committing a card to the field, the impulse would not be activated from the hand, thus we set it. Then we could use Full Loss afterward. So this was not a mistake. It was just good scouting. Lucky guess. Ganbara Knight is going to special summon. Let's 7th Tachyon come to us. Goblin Badurg. Returning that double or nothing, and that is a Garnet. And now we're going to Fua. End our turn. Okay. Mobile X. We got the play. Finally, we could use the mirror. With our second copy of a reptile here, we could summon the Futsu. Well, now that we're under max C, do we even trigger the Serpent? Serpent did not trigger. We do not want to give them another draw. Why would we want to do that? Futsu on the attack. What is that? Now, Futsu does have destruction protection even from battle. If they were to special summon, that will reborn the Kusanagi. And then we're good there. As we see, Reborn back, and we could also droll them. Will droll be enough? Futsu continuously, endlessly reborning. Utopic Sage will use its effect, Detach, to summon from the deck into the Sage. As we do to Warrior, trigger to search for the Kage, which we can now hit them with the droll. No search for you. As we now Goblin Bedurg it up. Bedurg is going to summon from our hand here. Gaga Girl could search our deck, but we can't do that. We're going to Kage, special summon itself on the field. We're going to turn both of our Xyzes into a Utopic Draco Future. Indestructible by card effects, and it can steal an opponent's monster if they activate a monster effect. What activated here? I think it was the Gaga Girl. If Xyz summoned, this card can make a second attack during the battle phase. Protect from the first attack, tributing attack number 2 thanks to the Gaga Girl. And Utopia, wipe away the serpent. Now Futsu is rebornable with the mirror. If we draw into a rich, there we go, we did it. Perfect. But the Utopic Draco Future can negate a monster effect, which we're probably gonna negate this, right? Yes, negate. The mirror, I believe, is public knowledge, so we absolutely know for sure that he has a play. Let's reborn the Futsu, tributing off the Habakiri. We're now gonna be searching our deck with the effect of Habakiri. Whatever we want, we're gonna grab the Ritual. Let's tribute off the Futsu, summon the Murakumo. Murakumo could get Chain Link blocked from the Draco Future wanting to negate if it still had its negate, which it no longer does, mate. The mirror is going to Chain Link block it all. As the Utopic Draco cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, we don't care to even use Droplet. Reborn back the Futsu. We also have the Sage protecting our Utopia from being destroyed. Prayers is going to tribute off the Murakumo. We're going to be reborning back the Kusanagi, reborn back the Murakumo, search our deck for the Aramasa, add from the graveyard the Prayers, and add from the deck with the Murakumo. When double or nothing's in the hand, you need the 7 Tachyon to return it back. It is no good to have that. And you could technically have 6 7 Tachyons, 3 of the card that searches it, but then you're going to play worse into a draw. Let's Forbidden Droplet, get that double or nothing trash out of my hand. Negate. A card in the field. Nate, we're going to reduce the attack of the Murakumo, more importantly. Little Knight on summon. That is the way to deal with the Utopic Draco Future. Or we could just tribute it with our Kaiju. Just like that. Can't attack directly due to the Little Knight. We have no follow-up play, and Mitsurugi takes it, hopping into game number 2. With a fully undisrupted turn 1, are we not on Protoss? Now, what are our disruptions here? Negate a spell, negate a monster, and this is summoning something that will be another disruption potentially. The Fool will also be drawing. We have negate a monster with Utopia Ray. We have negate anything with the Xyz barrier. We have Nibiru tribute off the field. We have droplet negate multiple monsters, and we have negate another monster. 7 disruption. We drew it into an impulse that which could have stopped the Dragonar from summoning. Well, now, I don't think we could play through 7, but there is no Protoss. That is good to see. Pre-prep. Searching for the mirror plus a ritual monster here. Let's activate the mirror. Did not negate. We didn't negate pre-prep. Now, it has 0 materials, but when they activate a spell, you negate and attach. You don't have to detach to negate. What's going on, mate? Murakumo always gets chain link blocked, but I believe we have multiple cards that don't care about chain link block. The Utopic Draco and the Photon Lord can be chain link blocked. Why? Because they negate the effect, not the card. Droplet negates the card. Utopia Ray, I believe, negates the card. Let me see that. Once per turn, when equipped, quick effect, target the effect monster, it does negate the card. So we have 2 card negates. Utopia Ray, negate the field wipe. Murakumo, force us to discard a card, which we'll gladly do, not an issue. 6 more disruptions to play through. Adding the Habakiri, which we have not activated the once per duel effect yet. Let's Mitsurugi Ritual. That's what we are waiting for. And what do they love to do with the ritual? They love to add it back with the Kusanagi. Not today. Your ritual's mine. Absorb it as a material. Habakiri, summon the Saji. We're going to tribute off the Murakumo. Now, pure Mitsurugi should play more than one ritual. All the other versions of Mitsurugi only play one. You have the Mirror, further Chainlink block in the Saji. Well, because Saji's on the field, I'm going to negate the card, even though the effect is Chainlink blocked from the Photon Lord or the Draco Future. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more disruptions, yes? 2 monster negates, negate anything, and Nibiru. Prayers will tribute off the Habakiri, grabbing the Kusanagi. Reborn back the Armasa. Habakiri is going to be searching. No Chainlink block in sight, so we are going to negate the effect of... Was it properly summoned? It was not. It was just searching. We have 3 more disruption. When do we want to Nibiru? Utopic Draco Future. Negate and take control of the Kusanagi. 2 more. Let's go into the Light Dragon Ignister, which could protect us from destruction as we try to pop a card in the field. We have 1. 2 disruption still. 2 disruption. Little Knight on summon. We're going to use the Xyz Barrier. Counter Trap. Spell speed 3. You cannot chain the Little Knight to thee. Wipe it. It has an additional effect also. It negates the activation. Then you detach 2 materials from monsters, which we have enough materials to do so. And then you can destroy 1 card in the field. We don't even have to destroy the Little Knight. We can destroy the Murakumo instead. And then the Little Knight will remain. Detach, and then we do exactly that. We have Nibiru. Nibiru is not activatable. We cannot Nibiru. Typhon turns off the Nibiru, returning the Leo Utopia Ray back. Xyz Barrier has an engrave effect I don't know about. I guess we're just attaching a monster. Sure. Dragonar has detached 2 materials from this card to special. We need 1 more way to give it a material. I'm not sure how we do that. As we now go into Gaga Magician. Onomat is, I believe, the best deck in Genesis, if you all remember that format, right? Is anyone still caring about Genesis? It's a good thing, yes? Impulse, negate the Gaga Magician from Reborning. GagaDoodoo Warrior, special summon, send the Glove Reborn. Kage is going to return Xyz monsters back. I believe up to 3? I thought it was 2. 3 Xyz monsters back into the extra deck. That's a really good effect in Genesis, where you run out of your extra deck easily. Onomatopoeia searched for with the Gaga Girl. Into the Utopic Future, Zexal is going to be at 13,000 attack, 19,000 attack. How'd it get bigger? It's your field in their graveyard? I think it is. Let's read that. How'd it get to, what was that, 19,000 attack? Gains attack equal to Xyz's that you control and only the opponent's graveyard. So once we got into the grave, 19 freaking K. Auto E, randomly banish 6. We lost out on Masquerena and Granite. I would say Granite is a part of our normal 1-turn play to search for a Nibiru. Murakumo can now force them to discard if they want to activate the Imperm. Is it just in my head that we always have double or nothing in our hand? What is going on? This freaking card that must be in the deck to even make the play with it, where you search it and then you Xyz into like the Dragonar, right? That's what it does, and it's always there. That was the way. That returns back the double or nothing, and then we discarded it. Dynamundo right away is going to be reborning back the Murakumo. When Call of the Grave was at 2, this was not as safe of a play to end on Dynamundo. Now we could force them to discard, we could wipe away their field, we can finger a card in grave, we can banish a Little Knight, we can negate a special summon, we can negate with Ash, we can Purification, negate anything. 7 disruption versus a 4-card hand. That's almost like 2 disruption per card. And now it's a 3-card hand. So now we could literally throw, just 2 disruption per 1 card activated. And we'll still have 1 disruption over. Force them to discard. Does not discard. Normal the Badurg. Purification is not a counter trap. If we have something, spell speed 2 to chain to it, we could. Negate and destroy. The coat can't summon. The glove can't summon. You have to control a monster to reborn. The code says control a monster to reborn. So, no monster, no reborn of the glove nor the coat. Well, we tried. We had a single impermanence. And you have to accept the fact of, you know, we talked earlier in today's event of, I want to win. What do I use my hand traps against? Even if you perfectly time one hand trap in most cases against a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck, it's just not going to be enough. You didn't misplay unless you improperly built your deck to the point where you don't have enough hand traps. And that's it. Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. We'll be advancing into the top 8 with Diablo Star Vengeance. I'll see you there.